Cause I said so. Oh, we got people in here already. What up? New Waters. What's cracking? I think YouTube changed they did a upgrade because this looks completely different than the regular chat. Because I don't see anybody in here because I said so. Oh, there they go. Fear you above all, spread the wealth. Hood politics, entertainment. Demetrius Gordon was cracking. Antonio Santos. Yet a Justice. American Awareness, King Tony. What up? Scotty Mutali Bay. Preston Davis, appreciate you, brother. Courtney Dockery, yoga certified. Neon Black, Scotty Saturn. MDC forever. Shark Dog, what up? Shakir Rhetoric. Michael Brown, what's poppin'? K Mix, what's up? Ray Brown. Grace Ike, Brother L. Wise, what up? Brian Bennett. Kevin Corbin, got the K. What up, Kevin Kev? Sharice Bailey. DD. American Awareness, we got you, baby. NS Overtime. Drayvon Bentley. Britt Coulter. Shanice Cole. What up? Miss Jeannie, what up? Kissed by the Sun. Me too, baby. What's up? DJ Sherm. Black and Gifted. Papa Soul Searcher. Trina Red. What up? Jerem Bay. What's that? Bahaman 1964? That's what's up. London Price, Richard Carr, K Mix, Kia Warren, Antonio. I got you, Antonio Santos, Dion, Darren Malik, Hassan Bay. What up? That's a long name, buddy. Chuck Burton, Mrs. B, Rich. What's cracking? Yet a Justice, appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Happy Saturn's Day to y'all, people. Happy Saturn's Day to the people. What's up, y'all? I know y'all can see. Got my Aang. I had this last week. I didn't give it a chance. Y'all see my Aang over in the corner. Y'all see Aang right there flexing the four elements. And those two elements, so if y'all don't know, the dark and the light, you see here the balance of the dark and the light, basically the yin and yang, but this is where the avatar gets his powers from. So that right there, that's Vatu. And Rava and Vatu. So Rava's the light, Vatu is the dark, Rava's the light. Where is Rava? Over there, that's the light. So that's the universe, baby. You gotta walk the balance, the light and the dark, like Aang. That's where all the avatar powers come from, though. The light and the dark. Gotta be balanced in your dealings. So real quick, everybody who ordered the police stop law package, the packages are on the way. A lot of people, you'll do this all the time. I give you a time that I'm giving the deal for the other. So I put in extra 2 flashcards, decks of flashcards, which are the volume 1 and volume 2 of the law and government flashcards. That was supposed to be from last Saturday to Thursday because I mailed everything out yesterday. All y'all hit me up. You guys do this on the last day and think that I'm doing it on Friday. So for people who hit me up, so if you ordered yesterday, I'm extending it just for the end of the month because the end of the month is tomorrow. So for the end of the month, I'll keep it going that's yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So if you order the police stop law, the Great Book of Melanin Research on realnuggets.com, I will give you the police stop law package for free, and I will include the 3 cards, these 3 decks of cards. Usually you only get 1, but I will extend it to actually 3 more days, yesterday, today, and tomorrow to the end of the month. And you'll get all 3 of these if you order the Great Book of Melanin Research, the hard copy. All right. So also make sure you go over to knowyourrightsfoundation.org if you want to volunteer. We have so many people coming in. So if you volunteered and you submitted, you fill out the questionnaire and everything, and you're waiting to hear back, just be patient. We see you. We see you. We're coming. It's a lot of people who want to learn the law, which is great. you know. So we appreciate everybody who's, you know, picking up the baton and wanting to learn the law so that they can, you know, they can pay it forward to their communities, and we can build up this 1 million Johnny Cochran. So if you want to be a part of that movement, the 1 million Johnny Cochran movement, the smartest lawyer in American history, a lawyer who could go into court and start busting flows and win a damn court case. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Hey, join the team. So get over to knowyourrightsfoundation.org and sign up for the volunteers. We are teaching you the law for free. Yep, for free. But you just got to bring your motivation, because we won't motivate you. If you're going to come in here and think we're going to be calling you and like, are you coming to class? Or what happened to you last week? And we ain't doing none of that shit. If you're motivated, though, we need the most motivated. We need leaders. If you're a motivated leader, then come on over and we'll teach you the law, because we need those people to be the ones who go out and pass it on to the universe. If you just sit around waiting for people to give you shit all the time, sorry, we'll catch you on the next go around. Deuces. But everybody else who want to get in this, knowyourrightsfoundation.org and sign up for the volunteers. People who wanted to also, you want to change your status. You guys keep asking me about that, because I don't teach status class in the Know Your Rights. In Know Your Rights Foundation, we don't teach status, just so we're aware. If you want to learn status, you have to go to the Patreon. That's where I teach status class on patreon.com/realnagas. You sign up for one of the Patreon level class levels, and at the highest level, when you're able to explain the paperwork, I give it to you for free. Yes, I give it to you for free. A lot of niggas out here charging you thousands of dollars for status paperwork. I don't do that. If you can explain the paperwork, then I give it to you for free. Now, explaining it not gonna be that easy, but if you can explain it, then I will give it to you for free, because sovereignty starts in the mind. If you get your paperwork and you don't know how to explain it, and they take it and rip it up and tear it up and piss on it, or flush it down the toilet, then what you gonna do if you're not sovereign here and you don't know that information? So for all the people who want to change the status, that's a long-term game. Go over to patreon.com/realnagas, sign up to the Patreon levels, and I will give you the paperwork when you're able to explain it. Also, make sure you go out and hook up the boy Timmy Tight Top right here at Weed Juice. Make sure y'all hook it up, weedjuice.com, OUIjuice.com. Make sure y'all get that cool water. I know some people been hitting me up. The cool water is off the chain. Yes, it is. The cool water is off the chain. Just the watermelon, ginger, and mint. I don't know how mint and ginger go with watermelon, but it does. Mint and ginger and watermelon. Hey, who knew? But it's off the chain right there. He actually brought me over he brought over the 6-pack value deal. So there's a 6-pack value deal that he does on this. So he brought me back 6 juices. This is the surprisingly sweet. We already know this is the Kobe Bryant of the league. That means the GOAT, not Gay Bron. Excuse me, not Bitch Bron. Man, we got so many names for him, I be messing up sometimes. But Bitch Bron, not Bitch Bron. Kobe, this the Kobe of the game right here. This the surprisingly sweet. That's the cantaloupe, pear, and grapefruit. This one right here is pretty good. This is super sweet. So if you like super sweet stuff right here, this is the Mango Mania, mango, orange, banana, and pineapple. Right here, this is coconut water, but he threw pieces of coconut in there. Look like Shaquille O'Neal's toenail. That's in there. But that's coconut. That's real coconut. This is real coconut water from the real coconut. So this is Coco Beware. For all of y'all who understand wrestling back in the day, y'all remember the wrestler Coco Beware? That's where this come from right here. And then he got the green lemonade. That's all greens. That's cucumber, romaine, lettuce, spinach, kale, lemon, ginger, apple, and pear. You talking about someone to clean you out? Right there. That's the green lemonade. And then the last one is Quit Stalking Me. This is all celery juice. Anybody who knows about celery juice, if you're having digestion problems, celery is a great healer of the digestive system. If you wake up every day and you had 1 glass of celery juice in the morning before you did anything else, wake up in the morning, have 1 glass of celery juice, watch how good your digestive system been working. If you've been packed up, your stuff ain't moving right, 80% of your immune system is in your colon. So if that's messed up, your immune system is going to be messed up. So celery is a great healer of that. And this is right here. Quit stalking me. All the celery juice you can handle. But make sure you stay by the bathroom. That's all I'm saying. Make sure you stay by the bathroom. All right. All right, y'all. Oh yeah, and just so you guys know, when I used to be on the Zoa show, y'all know the homie Dom. No, Dom and Hassan, they have a podcast, a burgeoning podcast. The fledgling, just starting off. So go check them out. That's called the Opinion Nation. So look for Opinion Nation on YouTube. Go check out Dom and Timmy Tight Top. As Dom from also the Jazzmatics and Jack Herrera, the group with John B. So make sure y'all go check out This is Jazzmatics. Hook up the homie Dom. That boy can blow. He off the chain. He got a video on there I saw a video with Beyonce talking how dope he is. Beyonce said how dope Dom was. So if Beyonce say he dope, go get go hook the brother up. So shout out to Dom and Hassan, Timmy Tight Top. All right, y'all. Let's jump on instant. Make sure y'all take your shoes off before you come in here. I forget to tell y'all that as we get in, and then 50 million of y'all come in here. Well, not 50 million, but a bunch of y'all come in here, and then y'all come in here, you're marking up my damn carpet, putting your shoes all on my couch, putting your feet up with your shoes on my table. We don't do that here. We have Asian rules. You take your shoes off at the door. That means hit the like button, please. Appreciate you. So let's get into it, y'all. Man, so this is crazy. So this new, just so y'all know, I can barely see what's going on the screen because Conceptual Elixirs, thank you, brother, man. So some people have hit me up. Shy City, thank you. William Lumpkin, appreciate you, brother. So just so y'all know, whatever YouTube did to the screen, it's hard for me to see you guys coming in now. They don't do it the same way they did it. It's some update, but I'll try to get to the super chats as y'all bring them in. But appreciate everybody who hitting the super chat. So let's jump into it. So real quick, some of the big news last week was, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Don Lemon, your boy Don Lemon from CNN, and he got fired. He finally got kicked. They finally kicked his ass out. I was wondering, this nigga been there for like forever. This nigga been a part of CNN since the beginning of the time. Just, messing everybody up, feeling on people's booties and shit, doing crazy ass shit to people, and just been able to stay there. But they finally got Don Lemon out of there. But then they got Tucker Carlson out on the same day. Did y'all see that? They got Tucker Carlson out on the same day. Now, Tucker Carlson was the #1 dude at Fox. He had the #1 show, Newsnight show on Fox. #1 in the world, actually. He had the #1 news show in the world. And they got him out of there, right? So, as I've been doing these live streams, I tell y'all a lot that, man, Fox News was the ones really telling the truth. Actually, it wasn't Fox News per se telling the truth. It was really just Tucker Carlson. Every time I was telling you guys something that came from Fox News, it was really coming from his channel, from his show. Because that fool, for some reason, this nigga would just go on there and be telling everything. All against the establishment, against war, against the cupcake companies. This nigga is against the GOP. He don't care. That nigga gets on there, he'll say anything. The January 6th narrative, he busted that to hell. All of this is against the establishment narrative. And so I was wondering, how is this nigga able to stay on here and talk all of this bullshit and not get kicked off? And sure enough, he wasn't. Like, nigga, you can get your ass out of here. You talking crazy. So what happened was, AOC, it was a series of things that went down. So basically what happened was, and wherever you are on the political spectrum, bullshit, you should just want the truth. Tucker Carlson was the main dude on mainstream media telling the truth. Whether you like Fox News or white people, Caucasians, or whatever the hell your biases are, you shouldn't have any, really. But that nigga was just telling the truth. no matter what the fuck it was. He would tell. He's the one who did the story on the Uhuru Africa Socialist Party getting jacked up by the DOJ. He did that story. You ain't hear that nowhere else on the news, nowhere else but Tucker Carlson. He had that story on about them getting indicted. So again, he was about the truth, and that doesn't go with the corporate media the modus operandi, so the MO. So what happened was AOC went on some show and said that Tucker Carlson he's inciting violence by him challenging the narrative on the stuff that basically it's the alphabet soup community, because he's not really challenging that. He's just challenging the fact of how it's boosted, how they're pushing it so much on you, and they're a privileged class, and they're always claiming that they're the marginalized class. So he talks about that, right? So AOC came out and said that he was inciting violent talk and all this and that type of stuff, and he should be, and Fox News should take him, should what she say? Fox News should censor him, or they should do something with him. That also that day, there's a dude named Ray Epps. I don't know if y'all heard of Ray Epps, but if y'all been following the January 6th thing, Ray Epps, if you've been watching behind the scenes information, Ray Epps was the dude, the Caucasian dude in the MAGA hat that was in the crowds, in the rallies before January 6th. So like there was a couple of rallies 2 days before January 6th, and there was a dude in a MAGA hat going around in the crowd saying, "We're gonna go to the Capitol. We're gonna storm the Capitol." And they was going around like, "All right, tomorrow when we go to the Capitol, we're gonna go and we're gonna storm the Capitol." He would just go around and he would tell him, "We're gonna storm the Capitol, right? We're gonna go and we're gonna storm it," and then he would go, "Peacefully." He would say that at the end, peacefully. And so then he was going in the crowd, and he said it one time, and everybody around, they said, "Oh, this nigga's a fed. He's a fed. So they start calling out, they said, "Fed. And they start calling this nigga fed. So then he was like, no, I'm not. Why you calling for peaceful people to storm the goddamn Capitol? What you think they gonna do? Cause you stormed the Capitol, they gonna change votes or some shit?" So he was obviously a government plant. He was obviously a plant. So much so, they got this nigga on tape, main one, saying, "Let's storm the Capitol," and this nigga ain't been to jail for 1 second. He has not been to jail for 1 millisecond, but they got cats in there being escorted around by the security from room to room, and they got this nigga in jail, calling him the worst terrorist in the history of America. But he's a shaman being escorted around from room to room by the goddamn security of the Capitol building. But the dude who actually told people to go into the Capitol building, no. It's freedom of speech, guys. Freedom of speech. He can say that if he wants. Actually, you cannot. You cannot. Freedom of speech cuts off at inciting riots and fighting words. You can't incite somebody to fight or a riot. But this dude, Ray Epps, so what happened is Ray Epps goes on TV the same day AOC comes on, and he says, Tucker Carlson is causing me and my family, such turmoil since he's been doing these stories on us. Wait a minute, doing a story on the dude who called for the Capitol raid and the dude who's not in jail. So because he's questioning that shit, he's bringing so much, backlash on his family that this nigga had to go and hide and all this and that. So when those two things came out that day, the very next day, this nigga Tucker Carlson gets taken off, right? But behind the scenes, they were saying that Rupert Murdoch, he didn't like the way this nigga was handling the January 6th narrative, because he the one who brought the tapes out that showed the security guards escorting the dude in the Capitol building, right? So Rupert Murdoch, I don't like the way he's doing that. So that was one of the main things why Rupert Murdoch didn't want him there. Also, most people don't even know Tucker Carlson didn't even have corporate sponsors, like major corporation sponsors. None of them niggas wanted to sponsor him because he would talk against the public narrative, against the war, against crack scenes, against all of that shit. He was talking, so this nigga didn't have no damn sponsors, which freed him up to do what he wanted. That's just why he would say mostly what he wanted. So they got that nigga on there. Then the main thing came out was Rupert Murdoch's girlfriend, which how the fuck do a 92-year-old dead nigga? Rupert Murdoch is 92. This nigga's walking. This nigga is walking in a skin suit. This nigga is literally walking dead. But this 92-year-old nigga, had a fiance, young ass fiance. Obviously, we know what the fuck that is, bitch. How the fuck this young ass girl? This nigga 92 years old. This nigga dick don't get. This nigga dick. You gotta pump this nigga dick up with with air every 3 seconds for this nigga to do something. But so God, they obviously this motherfucker, she ain't in love with no 90. How you gonna be in love with a nigga that's the fucking Grim Reaper at the mortuary? This nigga is dead. 92. Nigga, you ain't doing nothing at 92 unless you healthy. If you healthy, you can. If you was Dr. Sabi. But this nigga Rupert Murdoch ain't no Dr. Sabi. This his fiance told this nigga Tucker Carlson is a gift from God. That's what his fiance, Rupert Murdoch's fiance, told this nigga. Told Rupert Murdoch. We should do everything we can to protect Tucker Carlson because he's a gift from God. Do you know, 2 days later, this nigga broke it off with her, and then that's when he fired Tucker Carlson. So Rupert Murdoch is on some hating ass cuckold shit. This nigga's a cuckold because his girl is fiending for Tucker Carlson. This nigga fired Tucker Carlson. This is some bitch shit. This is some old school street you trying to fuck my girl shit. That's really what this shit was about. Because his girlfriend wanted to tap Tucker Carlson. This nigga Rupert Murdoch got rid of Tucker Carlson. That's some bullshit. But you see what's popping off. Along with all the other shit about the CIA, because Ray Epps worked for the Fed. So the Fed, also Tucker Carlson is the one who said the CIA killed JFK. He the one who said that. He bought that whole story out. This nigga said the CIA killed JFK. So you know they hate this bitch ass nigga. You know they hate Tucker Carlson ass. So the FBI and all them motherfuckers been trying to get him out for the longest, and they're trying to say it's because a lawsuit happened from this company called Dominion, which is a voting company, where they came out and they said they cheated they cheated the election. So Dominion put a lawsuit against Fox. Fox had to pay $800 million. And so they saying that's why they fired Tucker. No, that's the reason. That was a perfect reason to use to say that they firing Tucker, because we trying to save money. But Rupert Murdoch girl wanted to tap Tucker. And that's why Tucker Carlson out. Nigga, you old ass bitch ass nigga. Rupert Murdoch, you old cuckold ass nigga. Get your bitch ass out of here. And Don Lemon, they just wanted to get rid of that motherfucker. He was hard to get rid of because he a nigga and he gay. Like this nigga was damn near have to kill somebody on camera for them to get rid of him, which he damn near did. And they was like, "Fuck it, we tired of your bitch ass. Get the entire fuck out of here." So that's what happened with Tucker. But Tucker was the only one of the only Caucasians. The only Caucasian, the only news person, period, mainstream news person telling the truth. So this is where you guys have to separate your race, your racism and your biases and all that. And if somebody's telling the truth, you have to say this person was telling the truth and then ride with that until they do some fuck up shit and then call that out. But shout out to Tucker Carlson, because that nigga, he be out there rocking, breaking off shit. So did you guys, there's a researcher, a UFO researcher. You guys, I don't know if you guys seen this cat. His name is Dr. Stephen M. Greer. Go look this cat up. Dr. Stephen M. Greer. Has 2 E's. Greer, right? So Dr. Stephen Greer He was a trauma surgeon. So like he worked at a hospital. If you got stabbed and shot, you would get him. So something happened where he had a UFO experience or some shit. And he totally changed it, turned his life from being a doctor to UFO research. And he spent like $15 million on uncovering the UFO, the hidden UFO stuff that the governments are hiding. So this is not just America. He goes all over the world talking to governments, getting evidence, right? Not just governments. He goes and talks to government workers who are whistleblowers. So these are whistleblowers who he goes and finds who's been shut down and they can't talk to nobody. But he goes and finds these cats and then gets them on camera and allows them to say their piece, right? So he disclosed that the government has had anti-gravity, or what they call, he called it something. It's not anti-gravity. It's called, it's not called anti-gravity. It's something else, but it's, and for the sake of a better term, he has anti-gravity technology since 1954. So basically they found, what he said was, and this is how this is why the FBI will never be taken down. Back when Nikola Tesla died, they went in and raided his house and took all of his technology, his notes, everything, right? Nikola Tesla was on some real stuff. He was on the 369, energy. And if you discover the power of the 369, you will discover the power of the universe. He was on frequency and vibration, free energy, all the energy that you need. Like he was like, basically, there's enough energy. So he would do like this. There's enough energy in like this little square space. If you made a square space with your fingers, there's enough energy within that square space to power the world for a year. That's this type of stuff he would talk about. And so he had this free energy technology. Basically, there's the power field, this energy field around us with a dark energy, really. This energy field around us that if we could tap into it, you have an endless supply of energy and power, right? So back when they confiscated his, oh, thank you, Jerem Bay, appreciate you. He said, look up Corey Good. This dude claims he's been in a secret space program called Project Solar Warden. Oh, for sure. I'll check that out. Project Solar Warden. Y'all maybe look that up. So this dude, Stephen Greer, so he said that they went in, they took Tesla's technology, the FBI did, and they found out these, they didn't find out how he did it, but or the secrets of how it was done, but they found out what he could do, and that they had the power of siphoning energy just from ambient space, just like ambient light. So in 1954, they figured it out. So back when Tesla died, he died in what, the 20s or something like that. So they had the information and they finally figured it out in 1954. And he said since 1954, there has been no need for roads, cars, or anything like that. The government has been hiding this information since 1954. 50-fucking-4. 54. That's when my mama was born. That's insane. But we know the government be hiding information. We all know how the government hide information. But this right here, this anti-gravity information. What's the boy name? Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar talked about how when he worked on the alien technologies in S4, that's what he found. They had some type of anti-gravity. It was like a field. They could shoot a field. It was like this little thing they had on. It was like a little thing that was on the front of this flying saucer that could move like this, and it could shoot it in an anti-gravity field out in front of the flying saucer, create a bubble around it, and create its own electromagnetic field, to where the ship, that's how you can see the ship moving crazy like that, because it's not affected by the Earth's magnetic field. It creates its own magnetic field. So they were saying that Tesla had discovered this information. Now back then, the FBI grabbed this information. Then they figured out how to use it in 1954, and haven't been able to, or haven't needed cars or anything like that since 1954. That's only for us, to keep us dumbed down. So then he said this dude, he has a series on Amazon Prime. I knew I seen this dude. So if you have Gaia, if you're signed up to Gaia, if you ain't signed up to Gaia, y'all need to be signed up to Gaia. It's off the chain. They got so many cats breaking off shit in that, as far as documentaries, spiritual documentaries, scientific documentaries dealing with ancient technology, and I mean, crazy. Y'all haven't signed up to Gaia, y'all need to do it. But this series is on Amazon Prime. So you can go in there and type in Disclosure. The series is called Disclosure. And homeboy's on there. So it's Stephen M. Greer. He has a whole series. He actually wrote a couple of books also breaking this stuff down. But the stuff that he came up with, because he goes and interviews these whistleblowers, and this nigga said that he said they found out free energy, and free energy. They also found free energy technology by tapping into the universal energy field. He said that Oppenheimer, the one who created the bomb, the Oppenheimer. Actually, they had a movie. The Oppenheimer movie is getting ready to come out. But the scientist Oppenheimer he was one of the scientists who worked on these alien technologies. They said this nigga was one of them. He worked on the alien projects. Then he said he interviewed thousands of government whistleblowers. This nigga said thousands of whistleblowers he been doing this for like 30 some odd years. So he said he interviewed thousands of whistleblowers, and they said who said of many UFOs are, they said many of the UFOs are government reproductions of alien technology. So they have a program, if y'all notice, and this is what Bob Lazar talked about, how they re-engineer or reverse engineer all the alien technology. They said they've gotten so good at it, though, that most of the stuff that you see is U.S. reproduced alien technology. A lot of it is regular alien technology, but most of it is reproduced alien technology. So then he said that. Then they said that they can down how they did this is because they can when a lot of people say, well, how is the U.S. government able to take down alien technology? Well, they do it with EMPs. They found out that most of these ships work on electromagnetic pulses or some type of electromagnetic framework. So if they do a super powerful EMP, just like anything else that's running on power, it takes out the ship. So they've been taking down a bunch of extraterrestrial ships with EMPs. So then he said they discovered this is the real. First of all, come on. 500 some people in here, only 300. Come on, man. I know y'all heard me at the beginning when I said take your shoes off before you enter the damn live stream. That means hit the like button, people. Stop playing. So then he said they discovered, and this is trans-dimensional physics. He said the U.S. discovered back in the 50s, they discovered something called trans-dimensional physics. What's trans-dimensional physics? Let's see. He said that deals with the nexus between the nexus means link, connection. The nexus between electromagnetism, energy generation, anti-gravity, and consciousness. I'll say that again. Trans-dimensional physics deals with the nexus, the connection between electromagnetism, energy generation, anti-gravity, and consciousness. So what does that mean? That basically means thought. Your thought affects the energy field. The universal energy field is affected by your thoughts. The force. The Force, Luke. Use the Force, Luke. That's what the Force is, a real shit. And it's affected by your thought. Go watch Empire Strikes Back, please, all of you. And make sure you block out everybody when Yoda is talking about the Force. When he says, judge me by my size, do you? And well, you should not. Because my ally is the Force. And a powerful ally it is. Life creates it. It's energy. It binds us. Through the tree, the rock. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. Come on, y'all. Shout out to Yoda. Breaking that shit up. So Yoda told it back in Empire Strikes Back. But it was already some shit that the government had discovered in the 50s of how your thoughts can affect the energy field. So basically they're saying that these alien technologies, they work on that. They work on thought, electromagnetic, your thought creates an electromagnetic field, or you already have an electromagnetic field around your body that's affected by thought. Has anybody ever tried the pendulum thing? I have a few videos from years ago where I showed how you can take a pendulum, you know, those pendulums that swing like that, and you can hold the pendulum in your hand and think circle, it'll move in a circle, think back and forth, it'll move. Anybody go and try this. This is how you build up, this is an exercise of how you build up how to control your electromagnetic field. I used to do this somewhat like 20, 30 years ago. Used to work on this. I'm super good at it now. I can just move a pendulum any type of way. So go look at the videos where I show that. But that's some real stuff, y'all. Everything in the universe has an electromagnetic field around it. Everything, no matter what, it has an electromagnetic field. And our electromagnetic fields are connected. That's why I'm gonna say we're all connected. Shout out to Aang in the in the Avatar. He broke that. He says we're all connected. So that's because our energy fields are all connected, which means our thought vibrations, everything that we share, are all connected. So they found this out, and that's how aliens are able to use their technology by thought, by consciousness. So then he said, alien tech has developed systems that can interact with the wavelengths of conscious thought. And that's basically what he said the technology is. And then he said the bases where they're covering this stuff up, because if you see, we said, where they get all the money from this? You remember how the Pentagon, they said they lost $2.5 trillion that right before the Twin Towers fell, right? Y'all heard about that. Then last year, they came out again and said, oh shit, we lost another $2.5 trillion. That's where the money comes from. And it's called, what did he call it? Deep black or something. He called it something like, hold on. Yeah, he says projects went deep black. That's what they called them. So in 1954, all alien projects went deep black. So now there you got black ops, which is ops that most of the military don't know about, but certain people in the military know about. Then you got deep black, where only 2 or 3, 4, 5 niggas in the military know about. This is deep, you know, behind the scenes, and that's where the funding comes from for this stuff. So he said the bases with alien technology, listen up, the bases with alien technology, he ran down the whole bases. Edwards Air Force Base, Lockheed Skunk Works Operation, Haystack Butte, China Lakes. This is a facility, Haystack Butte, China Lakes facility. George Air Force Base, Norton Air Force Base, Tabletop Mountain, Northrop Anthill Facility, Tehon Ranch, that's Tehon Ranch, McDonnell Douglas McDonnell Douglas Lano plant. It's Llano. I guess that's how you say it. The McDonnell Douglas Lano plant. Lockheed Martin Helendale plant. the Phillips lab. He done had, I mean, see, the reason he knows this because he had whistleblowers come from all these places. Whistleblowers have come out from all these different places and told him shit. And he's done multiple briefings to governments around the world. And this is where you can find this. He's sitting in front of a government panel telling them this. And they're sitting there like, oh, shit. We ain't supposed to be telling nobody this shit. Hey, did you tell him to tell somebody this shit? Hey, did you tell him to tell somebody? How the fuck he know this shit? They sitting there like that. So, Phillips Lab, Nellis Air Force Base, which is Area 51, S4, and the one that where it really goes down, S12. That's the main base where it really goes down, S12. Then he says the most important base though is in Utah. It's underground near a place called Provo. So if you're in Utah, if you know what Provo is, that's where the real alien base is. So go check it out. If you're in Utah, go check it out. Come back and tell me what happened. If they don't kill you, if they don't shoot you before you get to the, come back and tell us what happened. But that's the underground base near Provo. Then he said Los Alamos National Labs, and that connects to another underground base called the Dulce facility. Then he said White Sands, the White Sands complex, and then a place in Arizona near Fort Huachuca. It's called a UGB 9 underground base 9, and it has underground base, and it has 9 extraterrestrial vehicles that were downed by EMPs. So this shit is real. When it came out, and they said it was a galactic federation, and man, this shit is absolutely 1000% for real. But they don't tell us because they know we'll burn down the goddamn world they think people will burn down the world if you tell them aliens exist. So they think you that fragile. And they also know that this is a way to keep you in control, because if you knew aliens existed, then you would know that the government is not the end-all be-all power in the world, and you would fight back against that. So just so we're aware, that's why again Trump came out with Space Force. So he came out with Space Force. Space Force deals with all of these damn facilities. That's what Space Force is dealing with, all these goddamn facilities. Also, he said in the Utah base underground, he said that's where the biological experiments go on. So in Utah, that's where they have the real aliens. Apparently, according to this nigga. and this whistleblowers in Utah, in the underground base near Provo, that's where they got the goddamn aliens. Any of y'all seen y'all, what's the movie? What's the damn movie? Independence Day. This is just the same thing. This is just like Independence Day. When they flew that nigga out to the base, and he said there was no aliens there, and they took the nigga underground, it was all the aliens, and they had been doing, it's literally the exact same fucking thing. It's literally the exact same thing. So, shout out to the aliens, the Anunnakis, my people, Anus. When you come back and you take everybody out, just make sure you scoop me up on the ship first, and then you can wipe everybody else out. All right. Shout out to the aliens. But I just had to let y'all know that because there's way more going on than we know. And that dude, Stephen Greer, is the main dude who really knows most of this stuff. So go check him out. So then, did y'all see that the Decepticons, there was a Decepticon runner. That's my new name for the for the Transformers, because they Transformers. So, you know, the algorithm may catch on that. So the Decepticons, because what they trying to do? They trying to deceive you. So the Decepticons, there was a Decepticon runner who defeated, this is in a marathon. So a Decepticon runner in a marathon defeated 14,000, not 1,400, 14,000 women runners in a marathon. And this nigga was 54 years old. This nigga was 54 years old Decepticon, a 54-year-old Decepticon, ran in a race and beat 14,000 biological women. But no, there's no advantage. There's biological males have no advantage whatsoever. Whatsoever. I don't give a fuck if you're 7 feet tall, 500 pounds. That doesn't mean a fucking thing. If you have size 27 feet, a woman can have size 27 feet? Like, no, she cannot. There's been no woman with no size 27 feet. There's been no woman at no 7, well, maybe 1 or 2 in history. But that's a goddamn genetic. She can't move. If a woman get that tall, they barely can move. Their joints don't work. Shit like they look like Lurch from the Addams Family and shit. That's you seen a woman who's 7 who get that tall. Them motherfuckers is hey. That's hey. But that nigga beat 14,000 women. But he has no genetic advantage whatsoever, guys. Which means this person has still been taking estrogen for a period of time. This person has been taking estrogen, but still had enough testosterone or had enough male genetics left over in their body to beat 14,000 women in a goddamn marathon, which is insane. But they're going to keep pushing this shit on you because the Department of Justice is working to allow child sex change surgery, child chop shops, under the 14th Amendment. Because Tennessee, what happened was Tennessee outlawed it and a couple other states outlawed them. The Department of Justice is trying to jump in. Roger Grosh, appreciate you. LexisNexis is that website attorneys use also. That's right. Everything has a purpose. Yep. So they're trying to use Tennessee because Tennessee outlawed the child chop shops, right? So the Department of Justice is stepping in to try to implement so they're working to implement a bill. It's called Senate Bill 1. SB 1. So just look up SB 1, and it's a bill to allow child chop shops under the 14th Amendment. Basically trying to use the discrimination clause in the 14th Amendment that they're being discriminated against. Children are being discriminated against because their parents or the state won't allow them to be chopped up. But how are you being discriminated against? So again, they're trying to say that they're, but for you to be discriminated against in that way, you would have to say that they're allowing sex changes to another class of people that they're not allowing to you. But you're the only people looking for that. You're the only class looking for that. There's no other class of people who's getting sex changes that they're allowing, and they're not allowing you to get them. You're the only people who want it. People in that class, you're the only people who want it. So, but what they're trying to say is that if you allow adults to get sex change surgery, then you have to allow children. But children aren't allowed to do many things that adults aren't allowed to do. Because a child doesn't have a fucking developed mind. But they're trying to come in and say, oh no, a child has a developed mind enough to know if they want to chop off their shit. A girl, a guy, a little boy, and then when they become of age, when they finally reach an age and understanding, oh, maybe they may want children. And the funny thing is, a study came out and showed that 95% of children with gender dysmorphia, what they call gender dysmorphia, 95% grow out of it. 95% of the children who have gender dysphoria, they grow out of it. But the government, though, is trying to take this and use this as a tool to change society. See, this is how they do. They'll take up what's supposed to be some type of cause, some righteous cause, so they look righteous in them doing it. They look like they virtue signaling when they're out here pushing for the cause. You're wrong. Everyone deserves this. This is a human right. This is a human right. You have a right to change what nature didn't do for you. Nature fucked up, man. And we're gonna fix it. Because we're the government. This is the bullshit they want you to believe. The government, fuck nature, man. We kicked her fucking ass a long time ago. We know better than nature. She's a fucking bitch. And we're gonna kick her ass for you. So, this is what they're doing. The Department of Justice is trying to allow that. Y'all have to push back on that. SB 1. Push back on Senate Bill 1. SB 1. Say hell to the no. Then, right along with that, there's a woke lingerie company. I forgot the name of the lingerie company. Y'all can Google it and see who it was. They hired a male model to push their lingerie. What in the entire fuck? Who is that for? What dude is gonna look at another dude in some goddamn lingerie and say, you know what? My girl would look good as hell in that shit right there. She gonna fill out the breast part. That nigga ain't got no titties. But my girl gonna fill out the titty part. She gonna fill that out real nice. You know, she ain't gonna have as much hair as this nigga. This nigga's a goddamn Sasquatch. So, you know, she ain't gonna have no hair. Sasquatch over there. Like, nigga, what the fuck? That is ridiculous. What woman is gonna look at a dude in lingerie and say, you know what? He look good in that. I need to go get that for myself. These people have gone absolutely fucking nuts. And it's all about just the woke movement now. It's not about sanity. No sanity in this shit. Nigga, you want logic? You want insanity, nigga? You come to the wrong goddamn place. You done come to the wrong goddamn place, nigga. Sanity? Nigga, fuck, nigga. Hey, we don't do sanity up in here, my nigga. Now, crazy? Nigga, we got crazy all day, nigga. We got a warehouse full of crazy right there, nigga. You go get you a box of crazy. Hey, hey, nigga, right there, there's another bag of crazy over in the corner. You can get you a box of crazy and a baggie of crazy to go. But logic, nigga, oh, we don't do that. These niggas are insane. But if we accept it and don't push back, then that's when it's allowed. That's when it's allowed to flourish. Again, it's who has better marketing. Y'all have to understand, the people with the better marketing usually wins. Now, because this is antithetical to nature, it has no chance of actually taking over the world. At some point in time, nature will push back against this, and it's called a course correction. So whenever something that has a natural course is artificially pushed off of course, it has something called a natural course correction. The universe just balances it out and pushes it back. So ultimately, that'll happen with this. But how long will it take? How many people will be fucked up by this shit? How many minds, how many children will you lose to this ideology, this ideological bullshit before the universe corrects its course? So because you are also a part of the universe, you have a part to play in that course correction. So if you sit back and you wait for everyone else to initiate the course correction, then it's going to take fucking forever for that to happen. But if everyone who sees something and does something, if you partake in it, then the course correction happens that much faster. So this woke shit has to go. Dylan Mulvaney is promoting sports bras for Nike, which is what the fuck? Yo, Brandon Terry, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. They're promoting sports bras for Nike. Then you got a lingerie company doing with a dude, with a dude modeling lingerie. What the fuck? Women's lingerie. A dude modeling women's lingerie. What the fuck? It's insane, y'all. And we need to push back. Then I told you about Washington Senate Bill, Washington Law, Senate Bill 5599. Okay, y'all got to keep up with these laws. So Washington Bill, Senate Bill 5599, go look it up, allows the state to hide children from their parents. I think I talked a little bit about this last week, but I didn't tell you what bill it was. So Washington Senate Bill 5599, it allows children, allows the state to hide children from their parents. It also allows state licensed youth shelters to act as accomplices by secretly providing sex change operations or procedures to children. So a procedure could be not just an operation. It could be that they're offering them, the hormones. I mean, the blockers, the hormone blockers, which if you block that, you can't just turn your hormones off or puberty off and then start it back up. That's some bullshit that they tell people. Oh, we can just turn it off. You can just turn nature off. Put nature on pause. Nature's like, we're cool. I'm gonna go have have a martini, and just when you need me, just give me a call. I'll be over here having a Long Island or a martini just at the bar. Nigga, like nature's a goddamn waitress. Fucking is a goddamn maid. These people are insane. So if we're gonna stop puberty, we're just gonna stop it. We're gonna pause it. Excuse me. We're not gonna stop it. We're gonna pause. We're gonna hit pause. You got a pause button? You're gonna pause. Just pause. And when you're ready to go, unpause. Just like that. Boom, you're right back in it. So Washington is allowing this. So if you live in Washington, you have to push back. So that's SB 5599. Senate Bill 5599. Please push back against that if you live in Washington. And so then the new cat dog cat study that just came out, they showed that 25% of high school students identify as the alphabet mafia. As the alphabet mafia. 25%. Which is crazy. That means 1 in 4. 1 out of every 4, right? Holy shit. That's more than double than 2015. More than double. So, how does that happen? How does that happen? Because somebody has better marketing. I told you, if my burgers ain't selling, then I got to do a campaign. Pickles, lettuce, onions, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, something on a sesame seed bun. I got to do all that. I got to hire a big ass motherfucking Burger King motherfucker with a big ass head with a crown. Y'all seen the Burger King nigga with the big ass head? I gotta hire that. I got to do whatever I need to do to get you to buy my burgers, right? So if the alphabet soup narrative ain't taking on, I got to push it. We got let's do a whole month. Let's do a whole month where everybody has to, focus. You got to focus completely right here. Right here. You had nowhere else. You got to focus on this shit right here. And that's how they get people, that's how they get the children, because it's everywhere. Children consume more corporate bullshit than anyone does, because it's put out there for the children, because they're going to grow up with your ideologies or the corporate ideology in their head, and then therefore maintain a loyalty to the corporation, right? So they always push more shit to the children. So this is where all the marketing is going, which is why 20% of Generation Z. So it says 25% of high schoolers, but if you took Generation Z altogether, 20%, that would be 1 out of 5 identify as alphabet soup. So which is still crazy, because that's up from like 0.1%, 1 point something percent from the previous generation, which is the millennials. So they're pushing this shit again, and you have to fight back. Otherwise, you know, the children are lost. The children are lost, and we can't allow this shit to keep going down. So, goddamn. Shout out to everybody who pushes back against that, and not that you need to. We're not saying, you know, you need to focus and what's the word I'm looking for? You don't have to be. You don't have to bully someone else. You don't have to bully someone else because of whatever they chose. But again, the narrative, the pushback against the narrative, you know, which it's really most people. And the thing about the 25% who identified is that that's mostly because it's a trend. It's trendy. It's a fad to identify in those groups. If you were to ask that same group, excuse me, what they identify with, you know, in about another 10 years, after they get out of high school, when they don't have the peer pressure, ask them what they identify again, they finally get in the world where real shit is happening, I'm sure that number would go down. But this is where it is today, and we have to deal with that. So get in the game, y'all. Then there was another, keeping in with the child grooming, there was another whistleblower who testified in front of the Senate, I think it was the Senate or the House, that there's immigration, she testified to immigration trafficking at the U.S. border of children. Holy, we all knew this, but there was a border person who came out and testified, and she broke down there is a major trafficking ring going on at the border. And she said that a lot of the children who come through don't speak English or Spanish. Because what she say, they're from Guatemala. So a lot of the children are from Guatemala, and they only speak Guatemalan. And when they try to ask for help or something in Guatemala, no one understands them. And so these children are easier to get lost. Or, you know, it's easier for children like this to come up missing in the big pile of immigrant children and people who are around. It's much easier for them type of children to get to get snatched up. So she said that U.S. has been working as the middleman in a multi-billion-dollar illegal immigrant child trafficking scheme. This is what that's her words verbatim in front of the Congress, or whoever she told, that panel she told. It was a government panel. I can't remember if it was Congress or the Senate. But she told, no, it wasn't the Senate. I think it was Congress. And so that goes back into the 8th of March doctrine I was talking about last week that the UN put out, where they want to legalize child love. Remember that? They trying to legalize. They put that in there to try to say that the child should have, if a child consents to having with an older person, that child's consent should be taken into consideration. Now, do you see? Now, put all the pieces that are, disaggregate. Put them all. So start putting them together. You see, they're trying to create this whole narrative now of decriminalizing the pedo thing. So, holy shit. This is getting ridiculous. The fact that they're able to put it out in the mainstream without anybody saying anything. Like, y'all, people I don't know how new you are to this, but man, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you couldn't talk about abusing kids like this. You couldn't do any of this stuff. But now, because of wherever the world's in this big ass crazy psychosis of we need to affirm every goddamn thing, everybody's motherfucking, what is it? Your most base desires and lunatic desires. We gotta affirm all of that shit, which is crazy because we can affirm this, but not that. We'll affirm you wanting to be, you saying that you, a man saying that he's a woman, or a woman saying that they're a man, but we won't affirm you saying if you're white, you think you're black, or if you black, you think you white, or Chinese, like Dave Chappelle said. We won't affirm any of that. We will affirm if you think you were a cat, we'll affirm that. If you think you a cat, we'll affirm that. Don't make me start busting flows up in here. So we'll affirm that. But if you know what I'm saying, if you think you a dragon, we won't affirm that because dragons aren't real. You're a dragon. How can you be a dragon? Dragons aren't real. So they picking and choosing and what fucking psychosis that they want to implement into society. So this is absolute bullshit. It's all about control. It's not the only damn thing. You can be a cat, not a dragon. You can be you can be a woman or a man, but not white, black, or Chinese. What the fuck? Can I be a stalk of celery? Can I be that? Can I be a gerbil or a goddamn eagle? Where does it stop? Is my point. Where the fuck does this shit stop? And we actually start dealing with reality, truth, once again. Probably not until America falls. But this is the bullshit. This is the war we are in. We're in the Transformer War. Decepticons, roll out. No, that was the Autobots, roll out. Optimus Prime. So, moving along. In Zimbabwe, I don't know if you've seen in Zimbabwe, they are introducing a gold-backed digital currency in Zimbabwe. Shout out to Africa. Africa! Trying to do something, trying to get out from under the thumb or the nutsack of America. But they're introducing the gold-backed digital currency. And then they're releasing ATMs, new ATMs. So basically the ATM will give you a card. These are cashless ATMs. So if you go, so the ATM, you go give your cash to the ATM and the ATM will give you back a card. We're moving into the cashless society, y'all. They don't want any more cash around in the world. So they're starting to collect the cash. So then what they do with the cash, they take it and usually burn it. So they don't want any more cash moving and flowing, or this is the beginning. You're starting to see the destruction of the cash society. So I say, keep stocking up on cash. Go to the bank every week, pull you out a little bit of cash, keep it to the side. Because when this shit goes to hell, or if it goes there, we ain't gonna put it out there that it is, but if it goes to hell, that they're gonna call in order to implement the CBDC, the central bank digital currency. They're gonna call in all cash, like they did back when the gold standard fell. They call in, they confiscated all the gold back in the 30s, which is why if you buy gold, make sure you buy pre-1933 gold. Excuse me, pre-1933 gold can't be confiscated, because after 1933, that's when they implemented the banking emergency, and they took down the gold standard and confiscated all the gold. So anything before 1933, any gold that was created before 1933 is unconfiscatable. They can't confiscate it. So get you cash and pre-1933 gold. But they may implement a law that states if you don't turn in your cash, you could go to jail. That could be a real thing, like they did back when they were taking back the gold, or they snatched up the gold, and that was in the 30s, and then in the 70s they snatched up the silverbacks, the silver notes. So, and if you didn't turn those in, there was a penalty. So they may do that thing. They may do that again. So. Again, everybody, we talked about the economy flipping, and they have to flip it because it's built on, it's fugazi. It's a styrofoam foundation. It's built on bullshit. They know it's built on bullshit, so they have to keep maneuvering to keep it afloat. So either they change it to something else, that has a different foundation, or they have to keep maneuvering the foundation, which if you're in the building, if somebody keeps maneuvering the foundation, you in an earthquake. You you doing this if somebody keeps shaking the foundation. So that's what they have to keep doing to keep the dollar alive. And they've been doing this. The dollar should have crashed like 20 years ago, really. 20, 30 years ago, the dollar should have crashed. But they keep doing things to keep it alive. So again, it's the known medium of exchange. So go get it, because if shit does go to hell and they try to take out they try to take control of the monetary system, which no government should have control over what's the medium of exchange between private people. That should not happen ever. But if they do that, then because you understand that money or the reserve notes are a medium of exchange, we'll still be able to use those. So don't fake the funk. Go get some reserve notes. We know they fake. We know that's not real money. All that blah 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 blah. But if the shit goes to hell, we talking about reality. Everyone knows these as the medium of exchange, and they'll still be able to use them. So another real quick thing that I just saw, I talked about the robots. Excuse me, the robot dogs that they're about to implement in New York last week. So it just came out. They're going to do this in Boston. So sorry if y'all live in Boston. They got robot dogs for y'all too. But in Boston, they got Chat-Gpt is in the dogs. So I don't know if they're doing that in New York. But in Boston, they putting Chat-Gpt, the artificial AI, in the dog. So the dog may have a mind of its own. Oh, what if that motherfucker go crazy? What if all the dogs, the robot dogs in the city, just decide that the citizens ain't shit? And you got an army of robot dogs, nigga, in the street. Nigga, they all, everywhere you try to move, nigga, you try to go this way, nigga, This is too much like the goddamn Will Smith movie. Fuck this shit. we need to go back from this shit. So I just needed to put that in there because I forgot to put that in there last week about Boston. But Boston, y'all have AI dogs coming. So usually the regular dogs are controlled by pre-algorithms and shit like that. This is going to be an ongoing learning type of brain within the dogs. So what if they learn that niggas ain't shit? What if they come to the conclusion that niggas in the hood ain't shit? Because we kill each other in the hood all the time. There's most crimes, they showed a statistic where most violent crimes, and this is because they're concentrated to certain cities, but most violent crimes is like 40-some% of violent crimes are melanated people. They are initiated by melanated people. So what if the Chat-Gpt dog sees these stats and figures, well, niggas ain't worth nothing because all we do is kill each other and rob and steal and whatever and all this and that, and we're the biggest part, the biggest detriment to a free society, as far as a free and safe society, and they decide that they just want to take niggas out. Because that don't act like that couldn't happen. That could be one thing, the complete thought that the AI has. What the fuck then? So I'm just gonna say, get your gun, armor up, baby. Whatever you got to do, get you some big guns that'll take out one of them damn robot dogs. I'm not usually for guns with people, but guns against machines all goddamn day. So if you need, go get you a little piece, go get you the blicky. If you need to blow one of them damn robot dogs to hell, that's what you need to do. Cause this shit is getting crazy. So moving along, did y'all see the lady, Carolyn Bryant? The lady who lied on Emmett Till, she just died. I ain't gonna even lie. I thought that bitch was dead. She been dead. I thought that bitch had been dead. Like, goddamn. Yo ass still alive? The universe didn't bring that karma back on you? You lied? What the fuck? So, she just died. Universe, you dropped the ball on this one. Man. I don't know what the fuck you was dealing with. Her karma was, her karma couldn't have been that good that she lived to 88. Fuck out of here. But she died. She just kicked the bucket. Finally. And then, you know, because they were, you know, they were basically trying to get her in jail. They were her last years. They were trying to get people. They would call for her to be tried for the lying on Emmett Till. So, but they were all the Caucasian people were like, she's old. She's old. There's nothing she can do. She's gonna, and she did die. They were right. She was old. She died real quick. But she's dead. No, she shouldn't have to. She shouldn't have to go through this stuff. She's sick enough and blah 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 and this and that. Well, motherfucker, no. If you lie and get somebody killed and start a goddamn nationwide frenzy, racial frenzy that killed more people. What the fuck? And you found that you lied? Oh, somebody should run over your ass with a tractor. You know what? You should get Suge Knight. Because we know Suge run niggas over multiple times. That nigga, oh, that nigga treat your ass as a speed bump. He's testing out the speed bump. That's what should have happened to her. I don't give a shit how old your ass is, bitch. That's what should have happened to you. But the killing of Emmett Till, the reason I want to talk about this is because the killing of Emmett Till kind of spurred the civil rights movement, right? So, it wasn't real though. She lied. But the civil rights movement, it got the melanated communities linked, involved, locked up with the system. Because up until that point, we were trying to get a lot of our own stuff. We had a lot of our own stuff. But then civil rights movement comes on in, and we want to link up and integrate and be a part of the American society. Now, we know that boosted up America, us joining America. We know that's great for America, but was it good for melanated people to link up with America? And I'm gonna say hell no. And hell to the no. Because they take all of your energy, use all of your energy, and still treat you like the damn slave that you were before the civil rights movement. But now, the siphoning of your energy is just legal now. Because you're a part of America. You're a citizen. You're an American citizen. And so now your American citizen labor gets thrown right in the pool with everybody else's American work, which most melanated cultures, they had all the labor skills. So the skills that were coming out of the melanated communities were far greater than any of the skills in the Caucasian communities. So you brought that now into the main America, and now around the world, America people when America's doing good and they see America has this and this invention and that, and they're doing this and all that, and all these things that melanated people created after getting involved, mainly after getting in the system. That stuff gets attributed to America now, not melanated people in America. It's American invention, American industrialism, American, American business, American this and that. Give you an example. Going to the goddamn moon or the space shuttle thing. Dr. Goldstein, what up? I say bless you one time. I did. Dr. Gay, go check out Dr. Goldstein. I told y'all last week too. Go check out Dr. Goldstein TV. But Man, you made me lose my train of thought. I lost my train of thought there. Oh, so the movie with the ladies who worked on the space program, the sisters. What's the movie? What was that? Hidden something? What was that? What was that movie? Somebody put the movie. What was that movie? The sisters who worked on the space program. Hidden something. It was something. It was called. Maybe it wasn't Hidden Color because that's Tariq Nasheed. It was called something. But Hidden Figures. Thank you. Hidden Figures. So it showed the ladies who was working the math that allowed the space shuttle to go up. So, but you didn't hear nothing about that. All of that got attributed to America until this movie just came out and you found out, oh, that was nothing but a bunch of sisters. A bunch of sisters. These motherfuckers wouldn't been able to go nowhere if a bunch of sisters wasn't behind the scene crunching numbers. But you don't hear about that shit until 40, 50 years later. So the civil rights movement, again, made melanated people join that system where they were able to siphon all of your skills and knowledge and creativity, and you don't get no credit. It's America. Right? We're Americans, right? America. So that just makes me think, was it planned? Since she lied, did they plan the beating and told her to lie so that they can institute that whole movement because they knew what it would do when the information got back to this, to the community? They knew what would happen. They knew it would spur an uproar, a backlash. So to me, that's some shady stuff. I think it was engineered. That whole civil rights movement was engineered. Y'all know your boy Martin Luther King was in the Greek. He was in the boule. He was in the Greek. We don't know if he was boule, but he was what was it, alpha? Somebody put it in chat. I think he was an alpha. So he was part of the system. And he was trying to bring the melanated people within that system instead of trying to get us on equal grounds parallel to the system. We didn't have to be in that system. Why do we need to be in that system, that atrocious system that showed us nothing but fuckery since the beginning? Why would you want to be in that system? Why would you want to be in that? What was the reason that we wanted to be in that? Nobody ever told me, why the fuck would you want to be in the goddamn system where niggas is hanging you from trees all goddamn day? You got separate bathrooms. You got niggas calling you nigger. You got sundown towns. You got all of you. Why the fuck you want to be a part of that system? No one ever explained the logic behind that. Why would you want to be a part of a system that does nothing but atrocities to you all the time, every single day? Why the fuck you want to be a part of that shit? That's like a woman going back to the dude who keeps beating her ass all the goddamn time. Why the hell you want to go back to the house of the nigga who keep whooping your ass? I love him. I know he's just going through something right now. I promise it's a phase. It's just a phase. He only hits me in the throat, when it's my fault. It's my fault that he hits me in the throat. It's all me. It's all me. It's all me that he kicks me in the face. Like, no, bitch. That nigga crazy. That motherfucker's crazy. Get your ass out of the house before your ass is dead. So that was us with America. So that's us in America. America is the abusive spouse, whoever it is. Hey, you know who America is? Y'all know, whoever seen this, y'all gonna recognize. You seen Sleeping with the Enemy? Who's seen Sleeping with the Enemy? Julia Roberts. If you haven't seen Sleeping with the Enemy, go check that movie out. Great movie. We're sleeping with the enemy. We're literally that damn movie. We are literally sleeping with the enemy. So in that movie, if you haven't seen that movie, Julia Roberts was married to this crazy motherfucker. This nigga was crazy. I mean, you understand me? This nigga was crazy. But nobody knew he was crazy because he would nice and calm and had a nice little calm demeanor and shit. But when this nigga, so like this nigga would go to the bathroom and he had the towels, but the towels would have a line on the towels, right? And all the lines on the towels had to be all lined up. And if she used the towel, if the towel was the line was off just like, see the line was off like this, just a little bit like that. This nigga was like, what the fuck? This nigga was like, bitch, you know you're supposed to put the towels in. That nigga was crazy. That nigga was a white Ike. So sleep with him. That nigga was crazy. He was fucking insane. This nigga, she had to have all the shit in the cabinet. The labels need to be turned facing forward. They had to be straight in the cabinet. You couldn't have nothing out of. I mean, goddamn, that nigga was insane. So that's America, y'all. We Julia Roberts. The niggas is Julia Roberts, and America is homeboy. Is that crazy ass motherfucker? And she basically faked her own death to get away from that nigga. She faked her death to get away from that nigga, and I'll let you watch the movie. I don't want to give y'all no spoilers, but go watch that movie because that nigga was fucking crazy. And that's America. So fuck that bitch who lied on Emmett Till. But like I said, I believe it was a greater plan to get the melanated communities involved in America. Basically, in the house with the crazy spouse. They wanted us to line the towels up. Like, nigga, get your bitch ass in that damn bathroom and line them towels up, nigga. Hey, why is one can turned 3 centimeters to the left? Huh? I can't read the whole goddamn light. Hey, nigga, calm down, nigga. Let me turn this. So that's us. Shout out to Sleeping with the Enemy. So moving right along, there's a new study that showed that actually there's a couple studies that showed that the myocarditis, because they were saying that myocarditis, people who took the cupcake, excuse me, it was 1 out of every few hundred who had a chance of getting myocarditis. 1 in 30 is the true number. 1 in 30. If you got cupcaked up, 1 in 30 has a chance of getting myocarditis, which is crazy. That's insane. 1 in 30. And you won't know. And they said a lot of these you won't know if you have it. Because if you're not a person who truly exerts themselves all the time, then it's probably not going to be a major difference if you don't have an active, very active lifestyle, or a lifestyle where you may overexert the body, a little bit sometimes. Basically working out or something like that, or a strenuous job or something like that, then you may not, you probably won't really feel it. But if you have a strenuous job, holy shit. If you got some type of job or something, so you're probably going to feel it. And that's 1 in 30. You said Jamie Foxx? I don't know. I heard Jamie Foxx might probably had a stroke, allegedly. I don't know. Whatever it was, I think it may have been from the cupcake, though. I definitely do think it was from the cupcake, whatever happened to Jamie Foxx. But the family won't say what it is. But then, going right along with that, the WHO, the WH, they're trying to scare people now, because now they just came out with the new scare. The new scare is the Marburg Ebola. The two at the same time. Marburg Ebola. So they saying these two things are ramped up and could cause could be a next pandemic. So the Marburg is usually in Africa. So both of these are African, are usually native to Africa. So why are they ramping up all the killer viruses, the killer Vs in Africa? Why are all the killer Vs being ramped up in Africa? Again, soon as Africa find this newfound wealth, Uganda and all these people, they want to join BRICS and all that. Oh, y'all want to leave, huh? Y'all want to be on your own? Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Ebola. Marburg them niggas. So they let me show you what you need to get. Yo, DeMarcus Oliver, appreciate you, brother. Thank you. So, for all this stuff, I've told y'all before, but right here, this is nano silver. You get this at One Silver Solution. So, where's the website? It's One Silver Solution USA. All right. One Silver Solution, or just you can type One Silver Solution in the. I've been using this for, man, I think at least 13, 14 years now. This is the real deal. So these things, these V's, the Ebola and Marburg, are called hemorrhagic viruses, right? Or hemorrhagic V's. This kills most hemorrhagic viruses, V's. The reason I know this because there was the report that came out back when the bird flu happened. America stocked up on this. America stocked up on that. Yes, America has a giant reserve of this in case any pandeezy fully breaks out and it starts to take out everybody. Their go-to is going to be this. Yes, nano silver. And this is different than colloidal silver, colloid, nano. These are all just size particles. So nano means the particle is smaller so that it is able to enter the bloodstream easier than a colloid. So this right here, the report that I got from the government, it talks about hemorrhagic viruses and how when they stocked up on this, because this kills hemorrhagic viruses. That's a report from the government. Got that in my computer. So this is how you bypass that bullshit. Make sure you get your silver. Also, vitamin C. Right there, these two things together. This little swig of this and 3,000 milligrams of as homie Timmy Tight Top used to call it, vitamin orange chicken. Vitamin C. And that will knock out anything, especially if as soon as you start to feel something, if you feel like a little scratch in your throat or you get a little cough or anything, immediately, you can take nano silver every day, actually. Just a teaspoon of nano silver every day, you'll never get sick. Because it's not toxic to the body. Your body you'll just pee it out if your body had too much of it. But it knocks out. It said like 1,000 different V's and bacteria. And this is tested. Because the company who patented this is patented. And so the company who patented this had to do tests. They did their own test to submit it to the FDA. And the test that they did it on all these different, they did it on staph. They did it on a bunch of different V's, and it killed all of it. Ebola. They did it on Ebola. It's killed Ebola. They showed that this shit killed Ebola. So Marburg wasn't in the it wasn't in the report back then, because this report was like this. I got that report like 10 years ago, but Ebola was in there and said it knocked out Ebola. So just so y'all know, when they trying to push this, make sure you gotta armor up get your nano silver, because this is what they're trying to, this is the next phase of the scare, is the Ebola. And they tried to scare the hell out of everybody with Ebola in the movie Outbreak. So go watch Outbreak. That was really where they got most of this shit from. Outbreak, the movie Outbreak, and Contagion. Go watch those two movies, Outbreak and Contagion, and you'll see where they got the whole complete idea for all of this shit. The whole thing came from two movies, Outbreak and Contagion. Two good movies. But they got the whole idea from Outbreak and Contagion. So stock up on your nano silver. That takes everything out. It's no joke. It's something. Just so for the people who don't know, I know people seen me push silver before. For the people who don't know, silver is a natural antiviral, antibiotic. It kills most every bacteria except good bacteria. So you can take it. It doesn't kill the good bacteria in your stomach, in your gut, but it knocks out everything. Like people back in the day, before they had refrigerators, they would to keep their milk fresh, they would put silver dollars in their milk because it killed the bacteria. So silver is real. There's videos on YouTube right now. You can see people keep milk out for a week and put silver in the milk, and the milk lasts. It doesn't curdle and and they put two milks next to each other. No silver in one, silver in the other. The other one with no milk, that shit looked like all clumped up. And then the other one looked just like regular milk. So get your nano silver, please, because it's real. That shit works. I've been using it forever, and I can't tell you the last time I've gotten sick. I really don't remember. It's last time I've been sick. So this weekend, actually right now, moving right along, as we're into Happy Saturn's Day, going on right now in Boston. If you in Boston, do y'all know they got SatanCon going on right now? Y'all heard of Comic-Con, right? Or MovieCon, or any of the cons, the conventions, right? Usually these are for movies and shit like that, but they got SatanCon going on in Boston today. Right now, as we're filming this right now in Boston, they're doing SatanCon as we're talking right now. Now, shit is crazy. So that got a lot of big backlash, SatanCon and all this and that, right? It was sold out though. SatanCon, y'all, is sold out. A lot of niggas out here love Satan, don't it? So, should everybody fear the SatanCon? Shit, because they putting out there, all these Christians and shit, they all there fearing and saying, oh my God. So, should you fear SatanCon? So again, if you look at the statue that they have, it's the goat, the Baphomet, right? We know the goat with the caduceus right here in the breast and the crescents and all that. All that is symbolism. The goat is Capricorn, right? What rules Capricorn? Saturn. Saturn. Satan is all about Saturn. We've broken this down many times, but we'll go over it for a little quick second for the newer people who are to the channel. But Satan is Saturn, right? So really Saturn in its downfall. So going back in history, Saturn was the actual sun, it was the believed sun. Back in the day, the ancient sun of the planet was Saturn because it was called the pole star. It was the axis star. It was the star that was up in the sky, and when the whole world turned, it stayed right there. It was the pole star. It didn't move. It was the axis star that everything turned around. So, and it also brought an ambient type of light to the world. It was the light that people were able to see by, right? But it was a very dark, dim light. And the reason was because no one was able to see our sun, because the position of the planets at that time blocked the view of the sun. You could still see the ambient light of the sun, but you couldn't see the actual sun. And then there's something called the clash of the gods or clash of the titans. You've heard that back in the day. This is what the Greeks call it. And that's all that is when the planets started to move. It's because the planetary position back in those times were unstable. So the planets began to move. Michelle Renee, appreciate you. Thank you. So the planets began to move. And so the planet position back in the day was Saturn was it was ahead of Jupiter. It was the position of Saturn was before Jupiter. Then the clash of the Titans, or the planets started to rearrange. Then Jupiter moved ahead of Saturn, and Saturn fell to the low hemisphere, right? Or the southern, or down to the southern hemisphere of our galaxy. And so when it did that, it fell to the dark side, right? And then so we worship Saturn when it was in its height, right? When it was up in its height, then Saturn fell to the dark side. But when Saturn fell, Jupiter moved into its place, and then the actual sun became visible. Then we were like, oh shit, that's where light come from? Oh nigga, what the fuck we was doing with that nigga then? God damn. So when we start fucking with the new sun, that we can act the real sun that actually brought life to the planet, and Saturn was in its downfall, right? So we worship Saturn in its height. Then you had people who understood who we were, the advanced civilization that we were when we were worshiping Saturn. When Saturn fell, they thought, oh, that's the way to get to that power. So they started worshiping Saturn in its downfall. And this is who you get. This is the Khazars and all these people who you get today. The people who were in the Saturnalia, who worship the Feast of Saturnalia, because in Saturnalia, you can flip it. The ruler becomes the slave, and the slave becomes the ruler in the Feast of Saturnalia back in Rome, in these Roman times. So basically, that's what we're living in right now. We're living in Saturnalia. It's a perpetual celebration of Saturnalia, where the ancient gods, which are the melanated people, they have been flipped. You have been turned into the slave of the world, whereas the people who you held in slavery at one point in time, they have become the rulers. You are in a permanent Saturnalia celebration. And we all know Saturn is everything. So Saturn is El. El is God. That's where they get God from El, which is Saturn. But let's go into some of the Saturn symbolism, because it's Satan Connors today. So let's just break down their God. Let's just break down their God, who their God actually is. It's nothing but Saturn, right? So Saturn symbolism. We got Kronos, right, which is the god of time, supposedly, or the ancient god. He's the father of the Titans, Kronos, right? So Kronos, the symbolism of Kronos, as far as Saturn, you got Moses, Santa Claus, Satan, Santa, the Grim Reaper, Grim. First of all, y'all, my show was one of the dopest shows of all time was Grim. If y'all haven't seen Grim, man, go watch that show. That was my shit, Grim. He's a Grim. But that's my shit though. The Reaper scythe. Whenever you see so the Grim Reaper itself, the nigga with the hoodie, but then also the sickle, the scythe. That's called the scythe or the Sith. That represents Saturn. Odin in the Norse culture is Saturn. Uncle Sam is Saturn. Gandalf, you shall not pass. And if you see in the movie, who was he confronting? He was confronting the bull, the horned bull, which is also Saturn. You got two symbolisms of Saturn right there. Gandalf and the bull, or what they call the Balrog. Baal is also another name of Saturn. You see the symbolism in that bitch? The ancient, he says the architect of the Matrix. So the dude in the Matrix, remember the dude in the Matrix with the white beard and all that? That nigga's Saturn. And then Darth Vader, right? Because Saturn was the father. Saturn used to be the father of the Earth. And so when it fell to the southern hemisphere, it became the dark father. So Darth Vader is Darth Vader means Darth Father, dark father. So Darth Vader, Vader. So that's some of the symbolism. Then you got the Moloch, which is the bull. We go into the, like I just said, the Moloch bull symbolism. Any horns you see anywhere is Moloch. The bull, obviously the Chicago Bulls. The owl. The king, anywhere you see the king, because the word king comes from Malik, which is Malik, which is Moloch. Literally, the word king goes back to the word Moloch, or what they say Malik, but Malik goes back to Moloch. So does Malcolm. Malcolm also goes back to Moloch. So then you got Yahweh, Yahoo, or Yo, YHO. These are all Saturn. Like we said, Capricorn, the goat, Pan, and Baphomet. Any ring symbolism that you see is Saturn, like Lord of the Rings. That's why you also wear a ring when you get married. Any crescents that you see represent Saturn. So a good documentary that breaks this off is Symbols of an Alien Sky. Go watch Symbols of an Alien Sky. Type it in YouTube and it'll come up. And it's Talbot. And then he also wrote a book called The Saturn Myth. So also if you type Saturn Myth in YouTube, it'll pull up a lot of videos that go in depth on what he wrote in the book. But you should get the book and watch that video, and it breaks down how Saturn was the they thought Saturn was the sun back in the day, and all cultures thought that, and you can see that in their depictions of the sun back in the day. Now, I did a video on this in 2020, so you got to go back in 2020 in January. So if you go back and look at January of 2020, you'll find me doing a video breaking down the Saturn symbolism, unless YouTube took the video down. But so I did this again. So I did this 3 years ago. But going back into it, so the cube, that's also represents Saturn. The Kaaba in Mecca. The mortar board, or the square cat in the black robe. The Rubik's Cube. Anybody watch Star Trek, the Borg in Star Trek, they will assimilate you. You will be assimilated. Assimilation is futile. Resistance is futile. The cube from everybody seen was it Phantasm? No, is it Phantasm? No, Hellraiser, not Phantasm. Hellraiser. Phantasm was a ball, but Hellraiser, the cube from Hellraiser. That the cube would rearrange and it would open up hell based off the sacred geometry in the cube. Go back. I just watched that shit. Go, man. Go watch Hellraiser. Pinhead. Shout out to Pinhead. The Star of David is Saturn. The number 6 is Saturn, because Saturn, excuse me. Saturn is the 6th planet. The cube from anybody watch Transformers? So the Energon cubes. So they had that in Transformers and G.I. Joe. The Energon cubes. You think that's a damn coincidence? They had both of those things that was used for power in both of those different cartoons, G.I. Joe and Transformers. So the Energon cubes. The Tesseract in Marvel movies. Y'all seen the Tesseract? That in Loki, that Loki stole in what was it? Endgame. It was an Endgame. He stole the Tesseract. Or the Loki series. I think also was in the Loki series. And then and also in the DC Justice League. So there's a Tesseract in that too. So those are the different Saturn symbolisms. And then some of the names you get in Saturn is An, A-N, Anu, On, O-N is also Saturn. Anunnaki, obviously. The Sabbath, which is Saturn's day. That the Sabbath means Saturn's day. Rome was called Saturnia. The original name of Rome was Saturnia. Obviously talked about Saturnalia. Capitol Hill in America is Mount Saturn. That's really Capitol Hill is called Mount Saturn. Baal, and Bill, or Baal, excuse me, Baal, B-A-A-L, Bell, B-E-L-L. Baal and Bill are all Saturn. And I talked about Star Wars. Oh, the Death Star. The Death Star, again, because Saturn was this star that died or fell to the lowest hemisphere. And then Europa. So if you look at Europa, Europa is supposed to be a princess. She was really a Phoenician princess, which Phoenicians were the melanated people, but she was kidnapped by a bull, right? That bull is Saturn. So all the Saturn symbolism that you guys see is all around, but you have and the reason I wanted to go in there because I wanted to bring back Saturn up because Saturn is very important for people to start understanding and reading the symbolism. We talked about this over time, but sometimes people forget, so we had to bring it back up. But this needed everybody to remember. So also Kal-El and Superman, Jor-El with the terms L at the end of it. Companies with Saturn symbolism: Nike, Swoosh, Toyota, DirecTV, Internet Explorer, Sci-Fi Channel, New Jersey Nets, the Nissan Capital One, Saturn Cars, which is right off the bat, Hyundai, Boeing, the Fathead logo is Saturn, Quiznos, SanDisk is Saturn. So all this Saturn symbolism letting you know they're still on the Saturn worship, but the opposite of what we were worshiping. Saturn in its height, they worship Saturn in its downfall. Then obviously Michael Jordan, or Michael, which is who dares to be like Saturn, or who is like Saturn. And then all the names that begin in L. Electricity, electron, elementary, elevate, eliminate, elliptical, elite, elder, electives, elect, eligible, eloquent, elbow, elven, 11, all these different things are Saturn, right? So why is Saturn so important? Why is Saturn worship so important? Because Saturn rules the law. Everything in the universe has laws that govern them. It's called universal law, and Saturn governs the law. And what is that? What law does it govern? Karmic law. Energy out, energy back, which is really the base energy, the base karmic, the base law of everything in the universe. Energy out, whatever I put out into the universe is going to send that back. Well, who's the universe? You. You are the universe. So whatever you give out to yourself in the universe, you're going to send that right back to yourself. That's the karmic law of Saturn. So if I sit on my ass all goddamn day, then I'm going to get the repercussions of sitting on my ass all day. If I tell lies all the time, then I'm going to get the repercussions of telling lies all the time. If I fuck women all goddamn time, I'm going to get the repercussions of that. It's the law. Whatever you do, there's a repercussion of that coming back. For every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. That's the karmic, that's the Saturn law. That's the karmic law that they put into science. So Saturn runs the law. So unless you are versed in law, or you are in harmony with universal law, Saturn will kick your ass all the time. Which is why in astrology, a lot of people hate when Saturn comes up in astrology, because it usually means karma. But most people think karma means bad karma. And it doesn't. Karma means cause and effect. That's literally what all karma means. The definition of karma is cause and effect. Whatever I put out into the universe, I will get that back, no matter what it is. And it also means whatever happens to me has always been my thing. It's always been whatever I put out into the universe. Nothing anyone else is doing to you. It's whatever you put out into the universe. Now, karmic law can last over lifetimes also. So you may, I'm good in this life. Well, what did you may not know what you did in a past life. And you're bringing that karma here. Now, usually you burn that karma off from a past life in your child ages. You burn that karma off. But if you a fucking whack ass child and you keep creating bullshit karma as a kid, then you're probably not going to burn that off. But it's cause and effect. Saturn is the lawbringer. It brings the law. It's the ruler of the law, and that's what rules everything in the universe. Everything is built on immutable laws and principles that no matter how you feel about them, they're going to work regardless. Whether you like them or you hate them or you ambivalent, you in the middle, the law, universe law don't give a goddamn what you think. It's going to work it regardless. These universal principles. That's one of the reasons, and matter of fact, this is one of the reasons they were able to re-engineer the alien technology. This is what one of the scientists said. He said, universal law, the laws of the universe are universal. And no matter what, anyone can find them out. So if an alien is using this technology or using the laws, these principles, these scientific laws and principles, anyone can find them out. Just because they're advanced doesn't mean you can't find them out. If you tune yourself into that vibration and frequency, the universe will reveal it to you as well. OG Ocean Grown, appreciate you. The basketball in the hoop. That's right. So you have access to everything that anyone else has access to in the universe. You just have to tune yourself to the frequency. And so how do you do that? Again, that's meditation. That's conscious thought, but that's also conscious action. What are my actions? Are my actions, are they initiated to bring about a certain outcome in my life or the world? Because it's not only about you being selfish and only doing things for so good things can come back for you, but also, are my actions, altruistic? Am I thinking about someone else? Because when you do, that's when the universe really gives you an abundance. If you focus only on taking care of you, the universe will give you that. It'll teach you how to take care of you. But when you focus on helping others, because everyone that you see in the universe is just a part of you, just another aspect of you, dealing with different parts of the universal law. So when you give to that different aspect of you, the universe sees that and accepts it and then returns the energy. So this is the law of Saturn. It's not Satan, it's not evil, it's not devils, it's not goblins, it's not witches, it's not any of that shit. The higher energy of Saturn is karmic law. And whatever I do and put out into the universe will bring that back to me, no matter what it is, good, bad, or whatever. So let me consciously put out things that I want to come back for me as well as the universe. Because don't be selfish. Put out energy for the planet. Put out energy for people who you see that are suffering, who may not have the same consciousness as you do. Help them elevate their consciousness. So again, Saturn, and I'm heavily ruled by Saturn in my astrological chart. So that's why, I know about law. I'm very versed on the law. Saturn is heavily in my chart. So I came here, as far as the astrology breaks down, I came here with an inherent knowledge of the law to teach the law. And then you see, I started the Know Your Rights Foundation. Again, I've told this many times, the law to me is like reading a comic book. It's not hard at all. When I started it, it was so simple and easy, which is why apparently I'm able to bring it back to you, because I'm able to transfer it into a language you're able to understand it in. But the universal law is where it all begins. Mundane, physical, man-made law is just a carbon copy, or they tried to make it a carbon copy of universal law. So again, it's always gonna, when anything happens to you, usually when you get pulled over by police or anything like that, that's usually because you have some karmic energy in the universe that you haven't dealt with yet. It's usually the case. And if you do get pulled over and you get off, it's also because you had some karmic energy, some good karmic energy out there that had to be paid off. So again, though, you can't count on that. You can't count on that. Again, whatever I put out into the universe will come back on me. So if I'm just out here winging it, hoping that the universe is just going to just shower me with good shit without any conscious effort or action putting that energy forward, then I'm fooling myself. I'm bullshitting. You have to put the conscious energy into work, and you got to move and do it yourself. So that moves into, again, you already know, boom. Y'all can't hope the popo is not going to beat your ass. You have got to get out there and consciously put the energy out into the universe to say, yo, I learned how to make you not whoop my ass, police officer. And the universe will bring that energy, everything that comes along with that, back to you. And you keep this in your card. These 3 things. Constitutional rights card lets them know what your rights are and what will happen when they violate those rights. Put it out there to the universe. You have to give them notice. That is a key law in the universe, giving someone notice. So if you let them know what'll happen, boom, you've given them notice. Then you let them know if they violate your constitutional rights knowingly, and you get them and you do it on camera, they lose their qualified immunity, which is the buffer the government gave them to protect them from when they violate your constitutional rights and they don't know they did it. But if you tell them, hey, officer, you're about to violate my constitutional rights, you keep going, and then they do it anyway and you get them on camera, you got them. Boom. Got them. So right there, and then this is the notice that lets them know everything right here, all the laws that backs that statement up. So they can't be like, are you a lawyer? Well, no, I'm not a lawyer, but the judges in here were. I'm not a lawyer, but the judges who came to these decisions in the court, who wrote these cases, they're lawyers. I would bet they're lawyers. And so, and on the back, there's more. And then you keep it going. You keep learning and putting that energy out into the universe by keep learning. Know your rights manual. Again, take the law into your own hands. Don't leave it up to the universe. Oh, well, universe, you gonna help me out now? No. Universe like, no, I ain't gonna help your bitch ass. What did you do for yourself? Did you take it upon any steps to learn anything for your goddamn self? Or you just want me to get you out of every goddamn thing? Well, nigga, I ain't about to get you out of shit until you take a step towards me. And the universe will take 2 and 3 steps towards you when you take a step towards it. So, know your rights manual. Everything you need to know about traffic stops and Terry stops, which are police stops on foot. Right there. And then you armor up. Armor yourself up. Armor your children up. This is a new age right now. If y'all don't see all the children that are, yo, JR, appreciate you. She said, teach, provide, protect, much respect. Appreciate you, brother. For sure. The children, man, right now, it is so important for you guys to know the law. It's not like all the other times where I'm like, hey, you need to learn the law, which you did then. But right now, there's about to be a giant push for police forces because the crime has ramped up in these cities so much that they're moving into the rich areas. Now, when it starts to move into these rich areas, these home invasions getting crazy, they're going to call for more police officers. You see, they got police dogs and Robo cops and all this and that. You think that's going to stop? Hell no. Saturn is out here wilding. So you got to get out there and wild with it. So learn the law. Master the law. Don't learn the law. Master the law. You should definitely master universal law. That should definitely be the first thing that any one of us does before we move we take a step out of the house. Our parents should teach us about universal law and how to move in harmony with the universe so that we're not crashing into it like water on water on the shore. You're supposed to be able to surf these waves in the universe, these conscious waves of the universe. So if you haven't been taught, then you're just going to crash and crash and crash until you figure it out for yourself. But again, the universe tells you, it gives you a way. And right there. And then when the police officers keep violating your constitutional rights, you go after that police insurance or the public official bond, which is called a faithful performance bond, which means they have to perform their duties faithfully or they lose the bond. Yo, Shy City, appreciate you. Oh yeah, you're gonna get it. Don't worry, baby. You're gonna get that. You just ordered the great book of Melanin Research. It'll be on its way in this week. So right here, this is how you get back at them. There's been checks and balances that they created for when police officers violate your constitutional rights. You have to take advantage of these damn checks and balances, these get backs. If you don't, then it's your fault. Again, same thing. It's karma. If you don't learn the law, ignorance of the law is no excuse. That is a thing I'm sure you heard all the time. But that is the thing judges will reiterate when a person comes to court and they say, well, Judge, I didn't know that, Judge. The judge will lit up there and say, well, ignorance of the law is no excuse. So you can't sit around hoping that you're going to be infused with the law if you go, and you start meditating, Johnny Cochran. You start meditating on Johnny Cochran. You think this nigga going to come and infuse you with the law? That's not going to happen. Sorry, that's not going to happen. Mrs. B, appreciate you. You got to do it. And as we just talking about karmic law, Saturn, the ruler of all karmic law, if you don't take action, how the hell do you think the universe is supposed to give you anything back? You let me know if you got a different understanding of karmic law, because I don't know. So again, this is how you get back at them. And then for the children, please get the cards. We got all the cards. We got everything for them. This is the Law and Government flashcards, volume 1 and 2. Right here. So if you order the great book of Melanin Research, which I'll show you in a minute, I will put these in the package because it usually only comes with the flashcards, this one deck of flashcards. But again, for the end of the month, because people kept hitting me up the day I was sending them, and which y'all shouldn't be doing, but I'm going to people who ordered yesterday, I'm going to honor that. So yesterday, today, and tomorrow, I'm going to put the cards in there with these, right? And so again, you get all 4 of these. This is law and government flashcards, and then police stop flashcards 1 and 2. Give these to your children. Have them study them. Armor up. Let this be a new time that we're coming into when police pull children over and a child comes out and says, do you have reasonable articulable suspicion? Do you know the face an officer will have if a 15-year-old, if he rolled up on a 15-year-old thinking, oh, let me see your ID. Come here, kid. What are you doing? Come here. Let me see your ID. And the kid says, officer, do you have reasonable articulable suspicion? And then also have the camera out. You got to teach them that. Teach your children, whenever they meet up with a police officer, immediately pull your camera out. Start recording. Don't trust them to record. And then, do you have reasonable articulable suspicion, officer? That I've committed a crime, I have committed a crime, I am committing a crime, or I'm about to commit a crime. What happens to the police officer's face when he sees that shit, when he hears that? And then these videos start to go viral. It changes the game. So let's get into it. Let's change the game. These are the flashcards. And then they're still ramping up. They're still ramping up the mandate talk. Even though they say we're out of the pandeezy officially, they're still creating these government pathways to where, if you take the cupcake, these governments will get money. So state governments are still implementing these things. So this right here, this is the religious exemption. You can take this in your job or businesses who try to keep you out saying that you need to be cupcaked before you come in here. This is a religious exemption because if you are religious, or you say you're religious and you are against abortions, then you can use this because the cupcake has aborted fetal Charmin, you know what Charmin is, in the cupcake, allegedly. It's really drill. They found it, but we got to say allegedly. But so you can use this for your job or for businesses that try to keep you out. And then this one right here is the liability notice. So if your job, this is only for your job, if they force you to take it at under duress, meaning they hold your job at bay, you know, over your head, say you'll lose your job, then you can use this right here. This says that they have to pay you for every second that the cupcake is in your system. Excuse me. They have to pay you for every second that the cupcake is in your system, right? So then also right here on the back, it has all the adverse effects from the cat, dog, cat. If they try to challenge you and say that that it hasn't hurt anyone, they try to challenge the judgment of it. You know, the cupcake. It's a myth. It hasn't hurt anyone. The studies say no. Well, this is from the cat, dog, cat itself that says this is how many people who kicked the bucket, or this is all the adverse effects from the cupcake right here from the cat, dog, cat. And then you have the notices right here that go along with it. This is the exemption notice, religious exemption notice right here, and this is the liability notice. You give both of these, you give this to your job, and you say kick rocks. All right. Then we also know it comes with the Pfizer Bakery. This is the clinical report from P.F. Heiser Bakery that says 1,223 people kicked the bucket in the first 4 days. So you get all of that if you order the Great Book of Melanin Research this weekend. And I'm going to put the 3 decks of cards in there. That's for people who ordered yesterday, today, and tomorrow. All right. So make sure y'all get out there and support. Also, make sure you support Weed Juice. That's Timmy Tight Top at weedjuice.com. Make sure y'all hook it up. He also has the anti-inflammatory ginger shots. He has ginger shots and turmeric shots, both anti-inflammatory, great things. They've been hooking me up, keeping my joints nice when I work out. Been no pain in my joints since I've been doing the anti-inflammatories. So Hassan, I need some more turmeric shots, man. I ran out of turmeric shots. I need some more turmeric shots. Hook me up, brother. But appreciate you though. So everybody else also who hit the super chat, appreciate you guys. All my mods, appreciate y'all. And everybody, make sure you get out there and join the Know Your Rights Foundation.org if you want to volunteer, because we are signing people up. We're teaching you the law for free. So we need people. We need people. We need people. Just don't, when you sign up though, don't be discouraged if we don't hit you back right away, because we do have a lot of people that are signing up. But the more the merrier. We're not turning anybody down. So come on and join the Know Your Rights Foundation and learn your rights. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. I'm about to get me some food. I'm tired. I'm hungry. And I'm about to watch me some Star Wars. I'm sorry. I'm always on Star Wars. It teaching me something new every time I watch it. Y'all, I'm telling you, Star Wars is a great thing. Everybody should love Star Wars. I'm out. Peace.